Good morning and welcome to a special programme on the coronavirus crisis as the Prime Minister spent his first night in intensive care. The man deputising for him, Dominic Raab, described Mr Johnson as a fighter who was receiving the very best care.
Outside St Thomas's Hospital, international media. There were best wishes from world leaders flooding in.
Americans are all praying for his recovery. He's been a really good friend. He's been really something very special, strong, resolute, and we'll see what is going to take place.
It was very, very strange driving into work, knowing I would be looking after the Prime Minister. I'd seen, I think it was the Friday, he had done an address on TV. He looked very, very unwell. He was a different colour, really.
For anybody just joining us, just to restate that Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, has been admitted into intensive care for the United Kingdom. This is a devastating blow.
The Prime Minister is battling coronavirus.
I remember turning up at work and just seeing this sea of media, absolute hundreds of them across the road, and kind of thinking if only they knew who I was.
There is no two ways about it. There is a degree of worry that if he has gone into ICU, it does mean that he is sicker than at first we were led to believe.
And I remember walking onto the unit. There was lots and lots of sick patients, some of whom were dying, and that being like, wow, this is real. That's the Prime Minister. They are very complicated patients to look after, and we just didn't know what was going to happen.
I hope they won't mind if I mention in particular 2 nurses who stood by my bedside for 48 hours when things could have gone either way. Jenny from New Zealand and Luis from Portugal. And the reason in the end my body did start to get enough oxygen was because for every second of the night, they were watching.
I remember I was getting ready to do a night shift. I was in the shower, I think, and I got out and I looked at my phone, and one of my friends had messaged me. And in my mind, I just thought, this is some joke. And within about an hour, there was press knocking on the door and asking if I lived there. There were journalists down the road, but I had to go to work. We had difficult conversations all of the time because people were so desperate to be with their loved ones. Even if their loved one was dying, it was too unsafe for them to come into the hospital. It was heart-wrenching.
Without restrictions, hospitals will be overwhelmed, said Michael Gove. Every bed, every ward occupied.
Leading up to Christmas, I just could not believe what I was seeing. It was just a cesspool of COVID. And then a whole lot of new patients come in. Just an absolute shit show, to be honest. At that point, I don't know how to describe the horrendousness of what we were going through. We were desperate.
It has been branded an insult and hypocrisy in its greatest form by healthcare workers after the government suggested a 1% pay rise. But the government insists 1% is all it can afford at a difficult time for public finances.
When I look back on it now, it's just a bit of a weird period, really. And that summer, we were invited to Downing Street to be thanked. It it was going to coincide with the last clap for carers. I expected it to be very formal, but it was lovely because it was so casual. It was actually very nice. There was, lots of talk about how things were in the hospital now and how nurses were. And there was talk that maybe we would participate in the clap. It would have been a really good photo opportunity. You know, kind of like Boris and his NHS friends. But I wanted to stay out of it. Lots of nurses felt that the government hadn't led very effectively. The indecisiveness. So many mixed messages. It was just very upsetting. Yes, we have put ourselves on the line and we have worked so incredibly hard, and there's a lot of talk about how we're all heroes and all this sort of stuff. But at the same time, I just not sure if I can do it. I don't know how much more I've got to give to the NHS. We're not getting the respect and our pay that we deserve. And I'm just sick of it. So I've handed in my resignation.